All right. It says we are there. Let's see. Here we are. Hi.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Okay. I see it.
Let me see how I share this though.
So when I share it, I write post.
Do y'all see us? Okay, yeah. All right. It might be a delay. You just gotta turn your volume
This is my
down.
page. Okay.
Now I gotta figure out how to share it to my page, girl. Lord. Technology. Hey y'all, come on in. This is our first time trying this new platform. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just trying to get our shares together. As soon as we figure out what's happening, then we will get started. Come on in, make yourself comfortable because this is going to be an amazing conversation.
Yes, yes. I'm so excited.
So excited. Okay, here we go. Just trying to
I was
share.
able to share it on my page. So
Okay, all right. I think I just shared it correctly. There we go. Hi, y'all. Like they say at Carolina Kitchen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Ooh, we are about to have a good time tonight. If you can hear us and see us well, please just comment in the chat. Let us know you are here so that we can acknowledge your presence.
and you can see the chat. I can't see it. So
Yeah, yep, I can
yes,
see.
I'll just rely on you. The-
Welcome, y'all. Come on in. We are going to get started in just a minute. We're just giving people time to come in and join us. Have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Now, let me see.
please, please.
Yeah, I don't know if it worked on there, but I ain't gonna worry about that right now. All right, come on in. Hey, Jackie. Jackie say I'm here. Hey, girl. Hey, hey, Carolee
Cousin.
girl. Hey, Miss Vivian. I know we're excited too. So it's a delay, so we may see your comments in a delay. But hi, Tiffany. Yes, this is gonna be so much fun. Hey, Tamika. Hey, Mama Pam. Yes, honey. We are gonna have a good time. A good time. We're gonna give it one more minute before we get started. We have so much to talk about. I don't even know. Usually this lasts about an hour, but the way me and my sister girlfriend get to talking and sharing, who knows? But we'll try to keep it short and sweet and honor your time. But I'm just letting you know we may run over, but
We'll
I
try to be respectful
will
of
try to
the
do it.
time. But
Yeah.
if the people want 5 or 10 minutes more, we gotta give them what they want,
Yeah,
Siobhan.
that's what I'm saying. Give people
No.
yes, yes. Okay. All right. So I think we got enough hellos and hey, Willette. Hi, Nelly, Vivian, Tamika. Hey, y'all. Hey. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. We got enough haze in here, I think, that we can go ahead and get started. So welcome to Relationship Talks with Siobhan Carter. I am Siobhan Carter, the You Relationship Coach. And what that means is I am passionate about all things concerning relationships, especially the relationship that you have with yourself. So I do these relationship talks every Wednesday, and I'm just excited about tonight. So just to let you know a little bit more about me, I am the founder of Walking in Wholeness LLC, which you are on the page now. And in that organization, I just help women, really fall in love with who they are and just enhance their relationship with themselves to help foster relationships with other people. I am also the founder of Purpose Publishing Company, where I help first-time authors tell their story so that their voices can be heard. And tonight, I have the pleasure of being joined by my good girlfriend, honey, Miss Patrice Salmon. So, honey, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, first, I want to tell you, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm sure as we go along, we'll share how we even got to this point of me being on this live chat with you. But just, Siobhan has already introduced, my name is Patrice Salmon. I am born and raised from New Orleans, but I reside in the DMV area. I've been living here since 2004. I am 38. I'm currently very single. I'm a mother of two very young and active boys. We're here to talk about divorce after dating. I've been divorced since January 2018, and we separated, physically separated around 2016, 2017. I am a, beautifully grown woman with a nice career with the federal government. And so I'm just so excited and grateful for this opportunity. So thank you, Siobhan.
Yes, yes. And we are excited that you're here watching with us. So this is not going to be a conversation just between Patrice and I. We want you to, talk in the chat, talk to us. We want this to be an interactive session. So I'm going to be looking at the chat. Like I said, it might be delayed. So if I get to your question a little late, it's just because of the delay. But we want to hear what you have to say as we talk and ask different questions. We want you to share your experiences in the chat so that we can get some, engagement going on with you. So tonight we are talking about dating after divorce. And both of us have been married before, and we're now divorced. I was married for about 5 years, and I've been divorced for 6 years now. And Patrice and I always talk about dating offline and just our experiences, sharing our stories and all of that. And I just appreciate her journey and where she is now. So I just thought it would be great to have her on, and just some revelations that she's been getting and sharing with me lately, and that she has started to share with the world. So Patrice, tell us about your journey. Like, what is it like dating after divorce?
Well, it's been an evolution. It's been an evolution, and it's interesting. It's been daunting. It's been exciting. Dating after divorce has truly been an emotional roller coaster ride. But I've learned so much about myself. I've had so many good experiences and bad experiences, and to be honest with you, I'm grateful for them all, because dating after divorce has helped me to heal. It has helped me to better define what I like, what I don't like, helped me to be able to better communicate in relationships, not only with men, but even just with my friends and just in general. It's been all of that.
Yeah. And let's talk about the reality of it. So neither you and I, we got married. We didn't think that it would end in divorce, right? So we go into marriage thinking that it's going to last forever. And then, we get the rude awakening that it doesn't. And then it's like, oh man, I got to start over. I wasn't prepared for that. So how did you handle that? Like, how did you get the courage to even start dating again?
Okay, so to be honest, when I started dating, I started dating really out of a really bad place. I initially started dating because I wanted to feel the love and care and, the touch and, to feel wanted by a man. And and I had to learn the hard way that a man could only do so much. I was in a really broken place. I had went through a lot in my marriage, and with the demise of my marriage and my divorce. And it was two things that really happened. I would meet guys that I was really interested in, but they wasn't interested in loving me the way I needed to be loved or what I wanted to be loved at the time. But then there were other guys that were very interested in, like, want to love me and, make me, I knew that they could make me feel a certain way, but for whatever reason, I wasn't interested in them for like the same way. It wasn't the same connection. So became a thing that I had to really assess, that I had to deal and heal my own heart and go through the journey of working on me, so I wouldn't be so codependent upon somebody else, making me feel the love that whatever they did would have been extra, versus me trying to. That's too much pressure to put on a man, to want to heal me and fill all those voids and emptiness and the emptiness that I was feeling inside, due to the demise of my marriage. So I didn't really start off in a good place, but the thing is, I started.
Right. And if you are out there and you are in a space where you are recently divorced, and you may be like Patrice and like me as well, like even though I didn't start dating right away, I still felt the void. And I realized my first experience after being divorced was looking for something to heal me, to make me feel good about myself and all that kind of stuff. So if you're out there and that's your experience, I just encourage you not to beat yourself up, right? Because when you've been married, you're used to companionship, you're used to getting sex on a regular basis. Sometimes that's the issue. But, for the most part, you're used to getting it on a regular basis. So that is a big transition, right? Adjustment. So I just ask that you extend grace to yourself if you do, like Patrice said, if you start out with the wrong intentions, or you just notice that you're looking for your partner to give you something more than they have the capacity to give. So love that you shared that. So we talked about your intentions and how you got out there. So what was it like? So you out there, you meeting people. What was the experience?
So when I first started, I was like, you know what? I just want to play the market and meet different guys, and and actually that's genuinely what I wanted to do. But dating was a different world, and so what really happened was I connected with this one guy, and I wound up found myself in a relationship for 2 years. 2 years with him, and I think it was, looking back, I just was used to being a wife. I was used to being a wife. So the first person that I met that I had some kind of mutual connection with, he had kids, I had kids. It just seemed like, let me try to, make this work. And even in times where I knew it was time to walk away from it, I just was used to being married. But that relationship really, really helped me, because it helped me to understand that I didn't know how to date. I didn't understand the concept of what dating really meant. I was used to, you meet a guy, you focus on that guy, versus chilling out, having fun, seeing what the options were, and then making a decision. I learned a lot from that relationship. I needed that to kind of see me for who I was, where I was at the time, and exactly where I wanted to be. So it was fun. Then I got into a situation, then I got out of it, and I started having fun again. I was smarter. I was more equipped on what to do, so
And I think that's so key, because like you said, when we're used to being a wife and then go into a situation where you're not a wife anymore, you still tend to act as if you are one, and you may get connected to somebody, really fast, or just, start to do wifely things. And so it is a transition that sometimes we just have to, be patient with ourselves as we navigate through it.
Yes. But like I'm going to say, the key is I tried. And if I had not tried and I had not done anything, I wouldn't have had those experiences to help me to learn, evolve, and share with other people how to kind of get over and overcome some of these things. So,
So what would you say to the woman or the man who's out there, they are recently divorced, but they are scared to try? Like, they're just really fearful, maybe feeling guarded, and just really afraid to try again.
Well, if the desire is to date, I would say do it afraid. And the other thing I would ask is, what lies are you telling yourself that are preventing you from wanting to date? So like, for instance, for me, one of the lies I told myself was, you know, I have my kids 99.99% of the time. What guy's gonna want to date me? I have these 2 young kids. I have them all the time. I work a lot. You know, my schedule really isn't flexible. So I really thought that I wasn't and would be a valuable option in the market.
Right.
And so that was the lie that I told myself. And so I don't know, you know, some people tell themselves, oh, well, you know, another lie, I need to lose 20 pounds, or I need to look a certain way, or I need to do this or that. And as I started dating, I realized that wasn't the truth. There were guys that were willing to like, oh, I understand you have kids, accommodate my schedule, plan ahead of time, offer to pay for the babysitting services. So I realized what I was telling myself wasn't really true. And we tell ourselves, we create these thoughts or ideas in our minds that will block us or cause fear. What we say, fear is false evidence appearing real. That's not true. That's not true. So we have to reprogram our thinking and really do it afraid and just try, because some of the stuff we tell ourselves not true.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is so good. And I'm just looking at that some of the people just amen, and that's so good, you know, in the chat, because it's I can think of lies that I told myself, you know, and just all kind of things. And just like you said, I know. And if you have some lies, you know, that you've told yourself, put them in the chat so that we can talk about it. And like I said, have an interactive discussion about it with you as well. So it's one of those things where, one, it's facing your fears, like you said, confront those lies that are there. And then what? So now you're out there. Now you are encountering different types of people, right? Trying to see like what's real, what's not, who's for you, who's not, you know, who's for a good time and who's not. So how do you navigate through all of that?
So it's been, you know, it's interesting you asked me that question. So I have been going to counseling for several years. And one of the things that really, really helped me, because, you know, I've gone through phases where, you know, I just want to date. Then I'm like, I really want to, you know, I want my person. I just would like to put my energy into one person. And, but I would always find it would be like a disconnect. Like I would meet somebody, but it was something missing. And so I had a counseling session one day, and I was talking to my counselor about it. And he really told me something that really transformed and helped me with my dating. He told me to create a list of things that I desire in a mate. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was very resistant to doing that, because I just thought, you know, when you hear a list, you think that's just so superficial. Right. You know, it's so superficial. And I'm like, I told him, I said, but you know, I don't want to set myself up for thinking that I can have it all. And so he looked at me and he was like, why can't you?
Wow.
He said, yes, you can. And he said, a right man will adjust to your list.
Wow.
And he's a male therapist. I'm like, he's tripping. He don't know these dudes out here. These dudes not adjusting to nothing. Like So, but my way wasn't working. So I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try his way. I'm going to try. So I prayed about it, and I wrote a list. And he even told me to rank it in order of what's important to me. Wow. And the list has really, really helped me, because this is what I learned about myself. I would meet a lot of guys that are nice. I mean, so nice. They're nice, very accommodating, you know, would be great fathers. But one of the important things for me, there's two things that is important. There's a lot of things that's important, but I'm gonna give you two for example. A man that has vision and goals in their life, because if you can't lead yourself, I don't know how you're gonna lead me. And a man that has a relationship with God. Those are very important to me. So what I found was I would meet guys that are nice, but they had no vision.
Like, so, where you going?
Where we doing? Right? Where we going? Right. So the thing is, what I want to tell other people, it's okay. Like everybody's list is going to be different. So when I would meet a guy that was nice, because you know, guys like to ghost you, they don't return calls. But if he was a guy that I didn't have no vision and he stopped talking to me, fine. You know, my list has kind of helped me to have a barometer for who I pour my energy into the date versus who I don't. Because one thing I don't have is a lot of time. And so you wind up meeting everybody and you know a lot of people, but everybody you don't really have to give your time to. And that's what I used to do. I would be on dating sites, you know, at one time I was a serial dater. Like I was going on before I had my list. So now I have my list. I could filter through who I'm really going to take the time, who going to really get the time to take me on the dates.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's what helped with it. But I haven't always been that way. And the list has really, really helped me to filter and sift through. Now, I'm not going to say that I meet guys that fit stuff on my list and it all works out, but it just kind of helps me kind of narrow the scope and keep a positive and open mind that if somebody don't want to talk to me, it's not, I don't take it as so personal, and I don't feel bad when I don't want to go on a date with somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and let me ask you about that, because that's where my next thought went. So you have people who believe that you should only date one at a time, right?
Right.
One person at a time, right? And so then you have another school of thought that says date multiple people, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it sounds, so tell me a little bit about how you feel about that. And another thought that came to mind was, how do you keep yourself from getting so attached emotionally to where you feel, you know, really distraught when it doesn't work out the way that you desire for it to? So I know that's kind of a two-parter. So the
first one first.
Yeah, let's go with the first.
I think that it is a good. It depends on where you are in your dating journey. If you are in a place where you just like I would been in a place where I just wanted to meet people. Excuse me, Parker's in the background. I've been in a place where I just wanted to meet people, and I'm gonna be honest. I have through my dating journey, I have acquired a lot of great friends, a lot of great people that we kind of figured it ain't gonna work for us, but you cool people. So I want to stay connected to you because you cool. You cool. You may be a resource. I mean, different things. But to answer your question, I think that it is. I think dating should be about you meeting different people. I'm not saying out here like having sexual relationships with everybody, but you want to see what's on the market. You want to see what's on the market. You want to see what's out there and see what is the best option for you. Now, once you decide, you know, where I really, really like this person, you want to pour more of your energy and you want to start weeding other people out. I believe that's okay, but most definitely date multiple people if you're single. Most definitely. Yeah.
Because I've heard different things. I think I started out as the type that would date one at a time, and I saw how it got me really invested, right? In that person, and I really did give myself an opportunity to really, you know, get a feel for what I truly desired. And then once I got into it, it was like, I don't think this is, you know what I mean? So
yes.
I think I'm kind of moving to that school of thought of just kind of dating multiple people. I see the advantages of it. And I also understand kind of the emotional energy that's kind of required. So it's like a balance, you know, if you choose to do it that way. I don't think one is better than the other. It's just whatever you choose, like you said. But, you know, it does require expending energy and just, you know, trying to see what you desire emotion, you know, in a person. And it does expend a lot of emotional energy too. So, but it's totally all about what you want to do, you know.
Right.
So,
and I totally agree. I started off because that's all I knew. You know, that's how you meet a guy, that's your guy. And I think we should be able to see, like, especially after divorce. I don't know if you feel this way, but I mean, you're getting another chance. You know, you get another shot. So if you get another shot, you want to try to make sure, you know, you're getting what you really want.
Right. Because it's like you don't want to. I know there are people who get married multiple times, and God bless you, right? But it's a lot. Going through a divorce is a lot. So it is not my desire to get married again and then have to go through another divorce. I know nothing, you know, guaranteed, but the more work that I can do on the front end to prevent that from happening again. You know, so I think it helps because I know I did a lot of work beforehand, right? So like you said, a second chance, right? Like, okay, what can we do differently, right? Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So now the second question, you said, how do you try not to get emotionally attached?
Right.
I really think it just depends on the guy. It really depends on the guy, your experience with that guy, especially if that guy is almost like you feel alive with that person when you with them. And you're going to have those experiences. I've had several times, you know, and it sucks if it doesn't work out. But I look back on it and be like, you know, at least I was able to experience feeling that way. And I hope I know what it feels to feel alive in a relationship versus just existing. So I'm grateful for those experiences too. I mean, they suck, but I mean, if it doesn't work out, but nevertheless, you know, just to have an experience where you look at somebody and you have butterflies, man, that's amazing. Like that's so much you know, you like in middle school again, you like, and he smell good, and it's just like, Lord, you know. So,
Woo, girl, wait. So, because I'm getting excited just thinking about it. I can feel it, right? So, I think I love your perspective about it, though, because I've heard and seen, because I'm a part of a dating group, and I see different women talk about their experiences, and there are some women who are really bitter from their experiences, right? They're like, you know, I up on dating, ain't no good man out there, and they have really allowed their experiences to shape, you know, their viewpoint in a negative way. So I love how you say, you know, that you're learning from it, you're taking the good, the yummy goodness that comes from it, you know, and you're on to that, not holding on to the person, but you're just appreciating the journey and the experience. So how do you do that, right? So what would you say to people who are bitter, and how do you get to this space of just positivity?
So I'm a Christian. I have a really intimate relationship with God, and everything ain't for you. And what God wants for me, I'm not gonna lie and say that when stuff crumble, I'm not sad for about a week or two, or maybe a month. I'm not gonna say that, but then I gotta remember who I am, and you know, like, baby, he's lost, or it just wasn't meant to be. And so I have built up this belief that what God wants for me, I'm going to have, and this is a part of the course of dating. Like you ain't gonna, you win some, you lose some. And so I mean, it is what it is. But I think it also helps for me to know who I am. Like that guy not talking to me doesn't really define me. I'm not gonna say something that I have many insecurities, things that trigger deep past hurt and emotions. But because I know who I am, and I know whose I am, and I know how God feels about me, that's a center that I could go back to say, you know what? It didn't work out, but God must have something better in another man that's gonna smell good, baby. He must bring another one along. So I just got.
There are a plethora of men for us to choose from. You hear me? So we do not want to be confined to just running after one. When you realize that there's options, and there's endless possibilities.
There are. I mean, they, you know, it don't always come. It's not like a bus, like, you know, we are for maybe men. But it's like, you know, I'm cute, I'm beautiful, you know. So if he felt that he needed to be with somebody else, or it just, now this is the thing that women don't want to talk about. It's not always the guys. It's sometimes us. The guy come along and it's just, you like he ain't, you know, he ain't the one for me. I ain't really feeling him. He could be the perfect guy. So it could go both ways. And I hope whoever that guy is, he know who he is in Jesus Christ too, so he could keep it moving, because everything is not for everybody. And I have to own that and respect that, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to feel that way.
Yeah, I love it. Let me go.
Call and cry on your shoulder, my cousin's shoulder. I gotta complain and pray, especially when he smells good and he look good.
But I think that's the beauty of it. That's a part of the process, that you have a space to feel how you feel. You can get support from your friends, and then you can, honey, we be in the chat like, girl, I know, girl.
Get right back on Bumble, honey.
Right.
Get right back on and keep it pushing.
Yes, absolutely. So let me go to the chat and people see what people talking about.
I can't see it.
Girl, they say, Jackie said, I'm so sick of you in this ponytail. Aisha, hey Aisha, girl. She said that ponytail did not come to play, honey. Yes.
Not at all. Nor did I.
Yes, just getting a lot of amens. I know that's right. So all of that. You get another shot. Just some good stuff going on in this chat. Too funny.
Okay.
So since we talked about the men, right? When, from a woman's perspective, and being that you have had experiences just with dating, what kind of words, what advice would you give to the men? What do they need to start doing, stop doing? What do they need to know from a woman's perspective?
So I think I could speak for the ladies with this. So, you meet a guy and he's like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship, right? I don't want to be in a relationship, but then they do relationship stuff. So you want to take me on vacation. You want to take me to meet your friends, your family. Then you're telling me you love me. Or women, we are raised to go by what they say. Don't go by what I say. Go by what I do. So now I'm paying attention to your actions, even though you say one thing, thinking you didn't change. Like what's going on? And so that's hard for a woman's psyche, because we thinking you giving us gifts and taking us out on dinners that, oh, this dude, he must really like me. And then when you have the conversation, it's like, well, didn't I tell you I didn't want to be in a relationship? And I think all women have had that experience. So if I was to give any advice to a man, separate. If you don't want to be in a relationship with nobody, a woman, and you, especially if you know that she's looking to be in a relationship, don't take her on no trips. Don't keep it separate. Keep it as separate as possible. Y'all talk, y'all may meet out. Keep it strictly platonic. Don't do all of that extra stuff, because then it causes additional problems really for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So and one of I see something in the chat is just about taking your time, like just don't rush into a situation. Just really take your time, and then as we stop making them court us.
That's good. Yep.
Yeah, that's really good. So anything else? What advice? Anything else that you have seen in your experience that you want to say to the men?
That's really the main thing. And also communicate your feelings. If things have happened and you shifted, don't be afraid to say, look, I want you to be with nobody else. I want you for myself. Or, I want to take things to a different level. Allow us to be a safe space for you. Because I think a lot of women, we don't mind that we're open to that. Really try to work on being vulnerable, so we could really understand how you feel, because they deserve the best too. Not only us, they deserve the best, and they deserve the best from us if that's what they desire. So I don't, be vulnerable, open up, and communicate how you really feel.
Yeah. And I know I just asked the question about the men, but when you said having them open up and be vulnerable, I think it's really important for us women to know how to receive a man's vulnerability, right?
Yes.
Some of us receive that as weakness, and you don't need to. When they do try to offer that vulnerability to us and make us that safe space, sometimes we don't handle it well. So I think us as women, we have to know how to receive when a man is being honest and transparent and really trying to give us the real, So I think that's important. So let's see what people are saying. So Erica says, right, leave us in the friend zone. Murray says, rejection is a tough pill to swallow. It turns to rejection. says emotional intelligence is key. The friend zone is not a bad zone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So be open. Communication is fragile without comprehension. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So y'all giving us some good stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you for responding.
Yes. So Nellie asked a question that I want to pose to you. Was there a time when you felt as if you had low self-esteem?
Yes, especially when I first entered, the dating scene. I just, I never. I think it depends on how you define low self-esteem.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I felt a low self-worth about myself, but what I did feel that I could only have a certain caliber of man, or I could only this type of man would be interested in me. So I think I had a low self-esteem when it came down to the caliber of man that I wanted to pursue me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So I can't say that I always, like sometimes, I would call fluffy, a little fluffy, so, I'd be like, and especially when you're looking at social media, because all they show on social media is these girls with a little big waist, with a big butt. And so you think that's what all the guys want. And so it doesn't really impact my self-esteem, but maybe my self-image of myself or my psyche to think that that's what all men want. But what I've learned, baby, that's not the truth, honey.
I know that's right.
That is not the truth. All of them not want little waist with big butts, nothing wrong with that, but that is not, because we see that image so much in the social media. We think that that's not all that men like. They like a plethora. So you are beautiful and wonderfully made. You may need to I may need to exercise a little bit, but I'm all right. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. Oh man. So I want to share something that Anthony says. When I was talking about women being able to receive a man's vulnerability, he said, or use that vulnerability against us later on, because that happens too. Receive it in the moment, right? And then later on, we telling all their business, or we using it against them, and it's like, dang, I can't even trust you, right? So that creates distrust.
Right. So I'm going to have this vulnerable, transparent moment. And I've spoken to my ex-husband about this chat. So something be cool. That was one of the hard lessons that I had to learn in my marriage.
Wow.
We would get into arguments, and then later on, I would bring it up thinking I was doing it out of place of help, but it really wasn't. He perceived it as I was throwing it in his face. So it came across as I was being disloyal, but I really, really, really was. That wasn't my intentions. But he has a point. They open up, and then when something happened, it's like, well, that's why you doing this, and that's why you doing that. And men don't respond well to that. They don't respond well to that. But that's a part of learning, growing. When you and that's why it's so good to move on in your journey, and because you learn all of those things, and from your mistakes, it helps you to better prepare for the ultimate partner that you want.
Yes, honey. Yes. So listen to what Miss Tiffany says. Tiffany says most women respect honesty. Honesty doesn't necessarily mean rejection. It just depends on what the woman wants. Some women aren't looking for relationships either. Amen. Find women that want the same instead of misleading. That is so true. So there are some women that are not looking for a relationship. Like, right, that would be me. I'm not desiring a relationship right now. So, we can't assume that everybody is trying to date for marriage or whatever, but it's just all about intentions, like just being honest up front. Not really feeling her like that, it's okay. And vice versa with him, let him know, right?
Yeah, I agree, because the thing is, let me pick and choose, or let me determine if I want to function or operate in whatever mindset or whatever parameters that you have set. Because I may feel the same way. Or if I want to be in a relationship, I just may not want to be in a relationship with you, but I don't mind, getting to know you and hang out with you, because I see something that, we may have the same vibe and connect. I got a little time to expend a little energy. So it is very important for both sides. And even for me, I've had to work on being honest and transparent about where I was depending on who the guy was, because, you know, I would, like I said, I would meet a guy that's really nice and, you know, be into me, you know, and then I would find myself not totally being honest for the wrong reasons. If I could be honest, because maybe, you know, I wasn't talking to nobody else, or, you know, and that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair to that guy. So that's why I say guys deserve the best too. You know, women do, and so do they. And so it's a two-way street.
You know, that's one of the things that probably has been the hardest lesson for me, is being honest with myself so that I can be honest with the person that I'm dating. Like, I have been in situations where I knew from the very beginning when I encountered the person that I didn't want to move forward into something serious, right? But I went along with, maybe I needed something at the time, maybe I was feeling lonely, or just maybe they were just a nice person, and, you know, maybe I try to make it work, right? So I'm trying to force something that I knew, you know, instinctively that it just wasn't meant to be. And so that has been my lesson, right? Just being honest with myself. Siobhan, listen, we're not gonna do this. We're gonna be honest, listen to what that voice is trying to tell you, and just be honest with you and be honest with that other person. Have you ever experienced that before, and how did you work through that?
I wound up being in a long-term relationship, and it got to a point where I had to be honest and let it go. And it was hard because, you know, the other person really thought it was going to be something. And like you said, you knew all along, but you try to make it work, trying to make it fit. It's almost like trying to put a size 7 shoe in a 7 foot in a 6 shoe. And we'll touch on this. Because I just got a thought. I knew. I knew kind of, but like I said, I was so used to being married. And so I was like, oh, you know, let me just, you know, kind of go along. And it was kind of devastating for that person in the end, because they didn't really see it coming, you know, but, you know, some other nuances to that relationship. But I had to put my big girl panties on and walk away from it.
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest piece for me, is being accountable, you know, being accountable for, you know, the decision that I made, and then making, you know, a responsible decision, even though it was hurtful to me and the other person, but I had to be real, you know, with myself. And it hurts, right? Because it's just one of those things where you get all entangled and involved, and then it's like
family, children.
You know, right. And then it's like, you know, you got to realize that this just isn't meant to be, right? So it's just a part of the journey that we go through in this dating, you know, whether you
my second chance, honey. You think I'm getting this right, baby.
Like, I would rather do it this way as opposed to getting married, you know, and then having to be divorced again. Like, I'd rather figure it out, you know, like I said, on the front end.
Amen.
So we have some more questions. Aisha says, I like the idea of the list, but what advice do you have for practicing patience for lacking areas that are on your list? So I'm thinking, I think, Aisha, you can clarify. Do you mean when a man is lacking some
have all of it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So but I think so. It depends. So, like, I ranked the list of things that was important, of order of importance, and so I think it depends. I think it really, really depends on what it is that he's lacking. Like, for me, having a goal and vision, having a relationship with God, like, that's the top. I have a few other things on top of my list. But that's important to me. So there's some other stuff that's on the bottom that's important, but it's not as important. But let me tell you, I believe I can have it all.
I know
so I believe I can have it all. And the thing is, my list doesn't mean that he's a perfect guy, because I don't have, oh, you know, he got to smell good all the time. He got to have this, got to have that. My list is not this perfect man, but it's what's perfect for me.
Yeah.
So I have moved into a space where I believe what I pray for, God is gonna bless me with. Period.
Period. I know you're gonna say that. So,
period. So I'm willing to be patient because I believe that the things that I have prayed and aligned with God for to have, I'm gonna have it.
Yeah.
Period. And so that would be my answer to that question. And the thing is, once you, especially when you move into a space where you really, really want a partner and you want you will know and start you will start attracting different stuff. You will start attracting a different type of men because you have clarity on what you want. You have clarity. Your vision not as cloudy. The guy may not hit the mark, but you'll start knowing. You when you do a list, the stuff that you attract would be different than what you used to attracting.
Now she clarifies a little more, and then we have a question about, yes, do you ever compromise on your list? So she says, I'm sure we have non-negotiables. What if one of the top non-negotiables are lacking? So to me, that's when I think you have to be honest with yourself. Can I really do this? Because I believe that he's not going to be perfect, right?
No, not at all.
So there's going to be something that you're going to have to practice patience on.
Yes.
The question is for yourself, can I deal with this in the long term? If this is a top non-negotiable,
good girl. Yes,
are you really being honest with yourself about that you can deal with this? And if you can't, then that's where that hard decision comes in, right? Because it's going to keep reoccurring. It's not going to go anywhere if it's something that you really value and feel passionate about. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So then the question is, what do you do with that?
And so one of the things I had to learn, like we talked about these lies, and I'm not saying this is true for Aisha, but just in general, we tell ourselves we can't have it, or that doesn't exist, or that's not there. Well, if you keep telling yourself that it doesn't exist, it's not out there, all men there aren't any good men, there aren't any good women, blah blah blah, you start to believe that to be true. And you believe it to be true, and it manifests. Absolutely. So we have to renew our thinking into believing I'm not going to compromise. And I'm not saying that you may not entertain some stuff here or there, but you're absolutely right. We start compromising. And why are you compromising? Are you compromising because you don't want to be by yourself? You think that it's never going to happen. You think that it's never going to come around. So you really have to do some self-reflection and ask, why am I compromising on my top 3 non-negotiables? So you have to do some self-work to really, really get to the root cause as to why I want to compromise.
Because I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the why. It's finding my why. Why am I willing? And that's something that I had to ask myself. Why am I willing to overcompensate, for something that I know I can't live without, right? Like I know that traveling is something that's really important to me. Right? And he does not like to leave the state that he was born in. And he shows me that consistently. I'm overcompensating. So I'm like, well, let's go to Delaware. Let's go. But I know I want to go out the country. Like it's going to work. I'm going to feel some type of way. Right? So I got to be honest with myself. And then if I choose to stay, why am I staying? Is it because I'm lonely? Is it because I'm so invested and I just got to try to figure it out? Like it's a question that we have to ask ourselves, why? So I love that. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Let me see. They talking, honey. They talking. So Melissa says, I met a guy on a dating site who was recently out of a long-term relationship and wasn't looking for a serious relationship, just friends. We hit it off and had a lot in common. I started getting feelings. He backed off and told me he started dating another girl. I was hurt because he told me he didn't want a relationship, even though we clicked. And then he started dating another girl exclusively. I'm sad. Am I wrong to feel sad?
No, honey, I just went through something like that myself.
It's real out here in these streets, right?
No, you're not. You're not wrong to feel sad. Not at all. I mean, that probably triggered your insecurities, like what's wrong with me? Why would he not select me? What does she have that I don't have? I really liked him. I haven't met a guy like that in a long time. He smelled good. So girl, let's allow yourself to feel, eat your bonbons, get your favorite food, hang out with your girlfriends. But what I will say, after a couple days, honey, adjust your crown. What's for you is for you to have. Take a minute to breathe and then get yourself back out there. It happens. There's going to be a man come across that you meet who is madly want to be with you, and you're not gonna want to be with him, and he's gonna have to deal with the same thing. It's a part of the dating journey. It's a part of the process.
And it's one of those things where take this experience for what it is, right? So you have an experience with this person, you connected. What did you learn from it? Right?
I was just about to say, what did you learn from that? Did you learn to laugh a little bit harder? Did you learn about a new restaurant that you could go to? Did you have fun? Did you get an opportunity to dress up really cute and go on a date? So, you have to really focus on the positives of what happened to push out all of that negative. And then there may be some emotional triggers that you just really, really need to deal with, some insecurities that you need to heal from, because situations like that will bring all of those things up and all of those feelings up. And so I've been there, honey.
I know that's right. And one of the things that I will say with the dating process, it's such an intimate thing where you really got to have your self-care mechanisms in place. So for me, I go to therapy, still go to therapy. Been going for 7 years, and I'm gonna keep going because it's a way for me to check in with my emotional health. So that's a way for me to process, as I go through relationships. And then I have girlfriends, right? I have guy friends that I talk to. So I have ways to process. So I would say also find, how to work through this and not allow it to make you feel stuck. Right?
Yes.
So have your mechanisms in place as you're going through the process so that you can keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, that's how you become bitter. Oh, men are evil. And then the thing is, you miss out on what you needed to learn from the process. So sometimes things come along to help you, and that person wasn't even meant to stay forever. And sometimes you may be dodging a bullet that you don't even see. So he might have did you a favor by walking away and going and being with the other girl. So there's so many different perspectives that we have on it that we should really embark. And I challenge people to embark and really explore.
Yeah. And I say this, like I did a relationship workshop called, what was it called? I don't forget. Oh, self-care after a breakup, right? So I learned a lot, self-care after a breakup. I just did a workshop on that and just really learning from my own experience and just talking about that. And one of the things that I found a quote that was from Iyanla Vanzant. I love her. And so one of the things that she said was just looking at relationships for what they are. They're really a mirror for us, right? To think about, to really learn about who we are and to see our capacity, like how much capacity do we have to love, right? How much do we have to give and receive love? So a relationship can be a barometer for where we are in our lives, right?
I love that. That is so true.
Yeah, because a lot of times,
good.
Just wanting the person to be everything and wanting to find our person, but honey, it's a journey. It's not a destination. Like
right, and we have to better ourselves so we could, like I said, especially if you've been divorced, or even if you've been in a long-term relationship, that could almost feel like a marriage, or even if you're just single and you haven't been married yet. It's an opportunity to just be better. I like it. So you're going to send that to me.
Yes, honey. So Erica says, what advice do you have for someone who's having a hard time meeting someone to date? How do you find people to? I don't know.
I do online. My primary source has been online dating, you know, because I'm not out a whole lot. I've probably met a few people out in these streets, but for the most part, I've done online dating, and I keep a really open mind when I online date. Some of my girlfriends talk about me and be like, "Oh, you know, ooh, look how he look," but you know, pictures, you know, you gotta balance that whole picture thing out. You know, you gotta balance out with personality. And I kind of, you know, I keep myself open when I'm doing it because you don't know what to expect. I don't put too much pressure. You know, I want to see where people are. You know, are we connecting at that moment? So I encourage, if you're not one of those people that's out, and really it's COVID, a lot of people are doing online dating, give it a shot. You know, give it a try, and you know, be open about it. Don't go into it like, oh, I'm gonna find my husband, because you're gonna be disappointed, honey. Just be open, enjoy it, try to have fun, and you know, get the experience of just talking to people. So I would say just keep an open mind and try online dating. It works.
And that I think that's the biggest thing. What I have learned is it's your energy, right? It's what you're putting out there. If you're fun, if you're light, and just having a good time, not we're talking about sleeping with everybody, but just being open and light. You're not trying to drill in like 50,000 questions right off the top. Like, you know, be fun, be flirty, you know, and just have a good time, spark up conversation. I think that's, you know, that's been my experience, and I honestly haven't had any issues.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm still single, but I've had really good dating stories. You know, I've had some really, really good. So I've had some good stories, some bad stories. I mean, it's been a good ride. I hope that it comes to an end soon, but it's been a good ride.
So tell us about, okay, so I know we got 7 minutes, but I still got one more.
Oh, shucks. Okay.
So do you have, really quickly, just like a funny or a weird online dating or just a dating experience that you want to
share? So I met this guy, and you know, we was chatting, and I looked at his profile. You know, he looked all right. So come to find out, he worked near where we worked at. So he had been asking me, "Come on, let's meet up," and I'm like, "All right, fine." So I decided to meet up with him for lunch. And so, you know, at Sweet Green by the Navy Yard, they have those benches. And so for y'all, everybody don't know where we work at, but we work in downtown DC, and there's an area where there's a bunch of restaurants and stuff. So there was a bench, and the guy was, and I knew what he looked like. So he was sitting on the bench, and so I was looking cute that day, okay. And I even think I put on a heel. I put on a cute heel, one of my cute booties, to walk from the building all the way to Sweet Green. So you know I was pressed because I don't like my feet to hurt. So,
and that's a good girl. Yeah.
So girl, he gets up from the bench, and I was like, where's the rest of him? Like, he had to be like 4'11". Now, no shade to the short men. I'm 5'3", and with my heel, I probably was like about 5'4.5" And so not only was he short.
No shade to short men.
No shade to short men under 5 feet. Right. Not only was he short, he like looked like George Jefferson in person. He on like this grand, and you know that's not my style. So I was like, Lord, what am I gonna do? And he was so excited to see me, and I was like, Lord. So we stood in line, and let me tell you, I hurried up and paid for my lunch because you know I didn't want no mixed signals at all. So then let me tell you about me. Read this fundamental, y'all. You looking at these profiles, read the profile.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what did I miss? Did he not put his height in it? And I'm not really into tall guys, but not nobody 4'11". I mean, he's like keeping the elf. So why he had on the profile, girl, that he was short, and if you didn't like short dudes, you could kill yourself. Girl, I could have died. I didn't read the profile.
He tried to tell you.
And after that, he kept trying to like go out with me again. And I'm not gonna lie, Lord forgive me. I did ghost him because I didn't know what to say. Like what I was gonna say, dude, you too short for me. Like I'm not really into Sherman Hemsley type looking dudes. I didn't know what to say. So that was like one of my most bizarre. I proud of that story because I always wanted dating stories. That was like one of my. I have another crazy one, but that's the funny one.
Hilarious! Oh my God! So the moral of the story,
I was like, "Where is the rest of his body?" Like,
right. So the moral of the story is, if you are going to be online dating, read the description.
Read the profile.
Yeah, read it because.
And if height is important to you, and he don't have it listed as,
yes,
period.
That's important. I love it. I love it. Listen, so before we end today, tell us about your blog that you've started and how we can hear more from you, how we can follow you.
Okay, so that has been an evolution as well. So I most recently, leading up to my birthday, as y'all can see, I just turned 38.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. So leading up to my birthday, I got this idea to just start posting things that I was grateful for. And I had already been thinking about creating a Facebook page, Instagram page to post inspirational things. I just didn't really know what that would look like for me. And so I posted one time about being grateful for my dating journey after divorce, and people was just like, "Oh my God, thank you for being transparent." I was like, that's what I do. So I created an IG page. My IG page is I am the Patrice. And my whole purpose of the blog is to encourage men and women to embrace and enjoy the journey and trust the process that you're on. So God is really doing a new thing with me. I even feel something different happening even with me and my journey. And so I want you all to please come. Like, I almost have 100 followers. I'm so excited. So if you're not following me already, please follow with me, connect you. I'm even thinking about, writing a book and just providing information. So I am super excited about what God is doing in my life. And I would love for you all to come and connect with me. I would appreciate it.
So on Instagram, I am the Patrice. So make sure you check her out, increase her followers. And Paula Jackson says, write a book about your dating adventures. So we working on it, girl. We working on it. Yes. So
she pushing it. So she pushing it. You pushing it.
So this has been such a fun conversation. I love it. I thank you for coming on with me, and the laughs and the words of wisdom and the encouragement that you have shared. So thank you so much, sis. So any last word that you want to share?
So I know one of the things we didn't talk about, but I really wanted to kind of just like some key lessons learned, especially for folks that have been divorced. And before I close, it's two things. I want to encourage people to date at your current age versus the age you got married, because that was one of my pitfalls. Okay, so I got married when I was 24. I got divorced like 10 years later, right? And so what I found myself doing was dating in the mindset of a 24-year-old when I have changed, like I've acquired stuff. I have, I'm deep in my career. So the man that I needed at 24 is very different from the man that I need now, and vice versa, woman. So that's one key thing I really, really wanted to share with everyone tonight. Really focus on that. Even if you haven't been married and you're single, when you started dating seriously in your 20s, you're a different woman now. So you have to reshift your thinking about what you need in the current space of where you are in life. So I wanted to share that. You're perfect the way that you are. And have fun, people.
Yes.
Have fun.
Yes.
This weekend. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. And in my parting words, Siobhan, you're my sister. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I wouldn't have done this if nobody else asked me. So I was nervous about it, but I'm glad that I did it. This was fun. And I'm so proud of you. We've walked hand in hand in so many things in our life, and I know we will continue to do that. So I love you. You inspire me, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I receive it all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you to you all for tuning in and watching tonight. And I just really appreciate all of you. And I just want to share this one resource. So like I said, I've gone through the divorce journey as well. And I wrote a book about it, right? Of how I got into that situation. So Dear Miss Wholeness is my book about my journey after divorce. So if you're looking for something to read and a real story, it's on Amazon. It's called Dear Miss Wholeness. You can look it up on Amazon under my name, Siobhan Carter, or Dear Miss Wholeness. It's just something for you to be encouraged by and to know that you are not by yourself on this journey, and life does begin again even after divorce. So thank you all for watching. Tune in next week. I have another conversation coming up about finances and managing finances after divorce and how do you even handle that. So I'm excited about that conversation, and I hope you'll tune in. So thank y'all for watching, and I will see you next week. Good night.